Hi, I'm Amber.
And I'm Takiya, and welcome back to the table read.
We have a few episodes out now, and we realized that we've never done a proper get to know us, and we thought we would do that today for those of you who may want to go into the industry and need a little insight. Not that we are professionals, but we're trying here. Or if you just want somebody to connect to, and just so you can kind of feel a little bit closer to us and our journeys.
So, for starters, did you always know that you wanted to get into film and TV, or did that kind of come later in life?
It's kind of weird because I think about this a lot. And of course, like growing up, I had the like, oh, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a doctor, like the most basic professions that you could be. I
Mhm.
know for a very long time, I did want to be a pediatrician, which like that like really stuck with me. And then as I got older, I was like, I actually like not that I don't like kids, but I also don't really like kids. And I remember when I was younger, I would watch like a lot of Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, and I was so obsessed with that. And I even found whenever I was moving, I had made something in kindergarten. And it was like, when I grow up, I want to be and it said like an actor. And so I guess I've always kind of wanted to be in the industry, but I never knew what there was. Like, I just knew acting, singing, dancing, and I couldn't sing, I couldn't dance. So acting was, like, really the only thing that I was like, "Maybe I have a shot." I was also an only child in this sense, like, I had siblings, but they were older and out of the house, so I kinda grew up as an only child, and I had to entertain myself a lot, so it was a lot of playing, pretend and those sorts of things. So I feel like I always kind of had the passion for realistic things. So I guess kind of it's just always been with me, but I didn't really know my options until I got a little bit older.
Same. I feel like it's always been with me as well. Throughout elementary school, I always did ensemble, plays, and everything like that. So I've always been involved in the arts some way, somehow. But for the longest, I wanted to be a pop star because, duh, Hannah Montana.
Obviously.
Right, and the Cheetah Girls, like, come on.
Hello.
And then, the older I got, the more I was like, "Wait, no, I wanna be an actor." And I used to force my mom to take me to those Disney scam casting calls that you would hear on the radio, like, "Does your child wanna be a Disney Channel star?" I used to force her to take me to all of them, and they all would be like, "She's so talented, blah, 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 pay me $5,000." And I was like, about that."
Don't have that actually.
Don't have that actually. But yeah, I went from wanting to be a pop star to wanting to be an actress, and then I wanted to be a Broadway star, and then I wanted to be more film and TV. So that's where I am now.
What was your first real experience on set and something that made you almost not like your I made it moment, but that was similar to that?
I wouldn't call this an I made it moment, but my first job ever was filming a B-roll for the like Disney parks. Um And I remember I had just gotten back from Italy, and I got an email from my agent, and she was like, "Hey, what's your availability? Blah, blah, blah." Mind you, I didn't audition for it or
Mhm.
anything, so I was just kinda like, "What is going on?" And I booked it, and it was shot in a city near me, and we basically was just like it was for Christmas, and we were trying on a bunch of outfits and everything, and like seeing the cameras, the lights, people fix up our hair and our makeup and everything like that. It was kind of just like, oh my gosh, like I'm on set right now. That's kind of my quote unquote I made it moment. And it was literally we were there for 12 hours, I think, and it was so much fun. I enjoyed it.
The commercial, was it, like, on, like, social medias and, like, TV and stuff? That's so
Yes,
cool.
it was on TV and social media. It's still on YouTube somewhere. I remember when it aired on TV, people were texting my mom, and they're like, "I swear I just saw Takiya on my TV."
Did you get, like, free passes or anything, or no?
No, but we got to keep some merchandise that we tried on and stuff, which
Oh,
was
that's
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
My first on-set experience, I would say, is whenever I was 18. I had just turned 19. I was still in college in Kentucky, so 4 hours from Nashville. There was a CBS show filming here in Nashville, and there was a photo double that was needed for the actress, and so I applied, and I got it. And being a photo double, for those of you who don't know, the way I like to explain it, it's essentially a stunt double, minus the stunts. So in my case, the actress was allergic to cats and her character had a cat. Why they did that, I don't know. But I basically would fill in whenever she had to do a scene with the cat. And sometimes I would go and I wouldn't do anything and I would just sit there and eat crafty and it was fun. But yeah, I was a photo double. I also did some stand-in stuff. I would like show up to set sometimes and they'd be like, yeah, you're actually gonna stand in for this person today before you do this. And I'd be like, oh, okay, great. Which I think was their way of like not paying me, not having to pay an extra person because I didn't get paid for both. I just got paid for one thing all day,
What the
even if
heck?
I did. So that was kind of not fun. But well, at the time, I didn't care because I was just, like, on set and I was young, but now that I'm older, I'd be like, am I gonna get paid for my time? Like, what's
No,
happening
literally.
here?" So I did that, and I did that for 6 months, and the show is now actually, I don't even know where to find the show now. It was on CBS, and then the CW bought it, and it was on the CW for a while, and now I don't know where it's at. But yeah, it was fun. I was just a photo double. I would go to set. I would get to sit, like, in the hair and makeup trailer, and sometimes they would do my makeup, which I don't really know why because you never saw my face. For one scene, I was, like, chained up to a bed. That's the only time I've ever been chained up to a bed and probably will be the only time, but hopefully it definitely showed me what goes on, like, an actual TV set because before then I had never done anything like that, and you kinda see how things work, you kinda see how actors work when they're preparing for a scene. It was cool. It taught me a lot, and then it kinda made me was like, want to be an actor, but at the same time, I was like, "This is terrifying." Looking back now or somebody today, whose career do you admire the most? Is there somebody that you look at and you're like, "I want to be you"?
Yes. I technically have 2, but my top is Scarlett Johansson. I love her. She literally has been working since she was a child, and she worked her way from the bottom to the top, like, quite literally. Her parents were not in the industry, and when she first started, like, when their mom took them to an agent, and they didn't even want her, they wanted her brother. And she was like, crazy." But, yeah, she's definitely someone who I admire as a person and, like, as an actress and just as a creator in general. She just had her directorial debut called Eleanor the Great, which was literally so amazing, so insightful, and I can't wait to see what she does next.
I cried that whole movie.
Me
Like, it
too.
was just so like, it wasn't even, like, sad the whole time. I was just like, I think old people just make me sad.
No, that's so real.
Who's your second person?
My second person is definitely Mariska Hargitay. Freaking love her. Oh my gosh, she's so amazing, she's so funny. I saw her in person at the Kelly Clarkson show,
That's
like, a
so
few
cool.
weeks ago, and she's literally hilarious, and she's so real. I just love her. I love her so much. She's great, and I love everything she stands for.
She's, like, iconic.
She's very iconic. She's a badass, like, literally the definition of a badass. Not even her character, Olivia Benson, just, like, herself, Mariska Hargitay, badass. What about you?
I also have a two-part to this. One of them is more recently, but my first, Margot Robbie. Everybody knows
Mhm.
that. I am obsessed with her as an actress. I love her, but also she is a producer and has her own production company. And having my own production company has been a goal of mine for so long, and she's crushing the game.
She literally
Like,
is.
she's having, like, box office films, and she's also so humble, and she's a very private person, which I admire people who are like that and, like, not on social media because I can't like, I am unfortunately just, like, always on social media.
Yeah,
I love that she just like, I don't know what's going on with her ever unless I see, like, a paparazzi thing
right.
or, like, find out from film updates on Twitter what movie she's gonna be in,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. So, her for sure because I mean, she kills it on and off screen. And then recently, I have been obsessed with Hannah Einbinder.
Yeah, she has.
I love her. I started watching Hacks because of her Emmy speech.
Mhm.
Like, I love that she went up there and said that.
She
Um
gave no Fs.
No, no, and I absolutely love that. So I watched Hacks because of that, and I'm not a comedy person, but that show is so funny
It is
because it's, like, the
hilarious.
perfect balance of, like, comedy, but there's also drama, and I
Mhm.
love that. And then I also, like, kinda did a deep dive on her social media, and she's so outspoken about, like, climate change, Palestine, healthcare, everything that's going on, and I love someone who is talented, funny,
And
and smart.
educated.
And educated, exactly.
She is incredible, and she when you first started Hacks and you were like, "You have to watch the show," because you were like, "She's literally just like her character. I see it. I
She is.
see it."
I know that you are doing kind of a few things right now. What part of the industry is most appealing to you? Is it acting, directing, writing, or do you even like getting the criticism?
Obviously, I feel like my number one is definitely acting. Acting is what I wanna do for the rest of my life. I love every aspect of it. I've learned so much in the past few years and honestly in the past few weeks from my scene study class. I have a new profound love for improv and comedy that I never thought I would have. I'm very much a dramatic person. I love all types of dramatic scenes. I wanna be freaking on my deathbed in a show one day, like, literally me. But we did a scene from Fleabag, and we had our coach laughing every single class. I also don't take myself as seriously anymore, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, I take it seriously when I'm doing self-tapes and everything, but I'm not putting so much pressure on myself. But I have also dipped into writing recently. I just wrote a short about competitive cheerleading, and it's kind of a spin of my experience in the sports. And I'm currently on my fourth revision of it, and I'm hoping that it'll be done hopefully by the end of the week, and I'll be able to kind of have it come to life soon.
Yes, that'll be exciting. I read it, guys. It's really good. The only thing with writing is like there's always so many revisions and it's like never ending, but
Yeah.
the final product is very rewarding.
I'm excited. I took a break from it because it was kind of stressing me out, like having to revise and everything like that. But I'm determined to finish it. So
Love that you kind of come into my world
yeah,
of
I have
writing.
come into your world. You
uh,
have inspired me.
Hey, what can I say? See, we're kind of the opposite. I started out acting, hate it. And my goal whenever I went into film school was like producing, directing. Hate producing because I don't like dealing with money. Directing, I'm still figuring that out. I know when I went into film school, I was like, I don't want to be a writer. I hate writing. Like that was my mindset. I don't care what happens. Like, I'm not going to be a writer. I hate it. Now I love writing. That's what I want to be is I want to be a screenwriter. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to do TV or film. Yeah, I feel like I like both. So whatever gets me a job, I'll do it.
Right.
But directing, I feel like every time I'm given the opportunity to direct, I'm like, you know what, I'll do it and see if I like it. And every time I do it, it's just me trying to figure out if I like it. So I guess I'm just going to keep directing and I don't know, maybe it'll click one day. Like, I don't hate it. I'm just not, we said this in our podcast with Danielle Sabry, which if you haven't watched it, go check it out.
Yeah.
I'm just not a confrontational person. And I don't like having to give notes to people because I kind of feel like, what about me, who's not an actor? What right do I have as a director? You do have the right and I just need to learn that. And also I have to learn that like actors, they want feedback.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know. That's why I just like writing because I can just do it and pass it off and
Well, you're gonna can co-direct or direct my short, and
oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna tell you to do whatever you need to do.
Well, thank you.
And everyone who will be on set will most likely be a cheerleader, so they're used to criticism and everything, so
Oh, great. Perfect. Even
exactly.
better.
Do you remember the first time you were, like, completely blown away by a performance, and was there a TV show that made you realize, like, "Yeah, I wanna be in the industry?"
Gosh, there's so many shows and movies that I've seen that I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like the whole opening sequence of Babylon is insane. Also, like love Jordan Peele films. I love like the very they're not even complex messages, but like they make you think.
Mhm.
But I would say I love the show Rain with Adelaide Kane, and I think she was absolutely phenomenal in that show. It's a period piece, and not period pieces aren't everybody's cup of tea, but I thought she was so good. There was one scene in particular where her character, even though she's playing like a real fictional or a real person in history, her character was assaulted
Mhm.
and kind of had this breakdown and it was just so good, like you could just feel the emotion. And then as far as a show that made me want to work in the industry, this is going to sound so, just everybody hear me out. So I whenever I was 12, I went through a very hard time.
Yeah.
And without going into too much detail, this is not a trauma dump session. And so I started watching Pretty Little Liars, and it was on I think season 4 was about to come out. So I was watching it on like one of those illegal websites where like a message pops up in the corner that's like, do you want to meet? I live down the street. Like, yeah, that kind of message. And so I started watching it, and I was like it was like a distraction to me and I was just so obsessed with like even though everything I was going through, I was like I was so amused by this show. And that's whenever I kind of was like, oh, I can be an actor. And that's when I learned about like casting directors, producers, writers, crafty, like all these random things behind the scenes. Pretty Little Liars essentially taught me that. So that's kind of the show that I would say made me realize like I want to be part of this storytelling. I just don't know how I want to be a part of it yet. And then when I got older, like The Vampire Diaries, I remember visiting the town it was filmed in, and it's really just like a small town. Like there's nothing crazy about it. But on TV, it looks so magical. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I want to be the person that makes the stories and tells them in a way that's so drastic. Not even that, but like, because, I was saying how the town was so boring.
Make it
But
magical.
because of the writing and the acting, directing, it was a whole magical piece. And I was like, I want to do that. What about you?
For me, there are episodes of Law& and Order SVU with Mariska Hargitay's character, Olivia Benson, that have blown me away and continue to blow me away. There's certain episodes where she is held hostage by a serial killer and everything, and the acting left me speechless, like, absolutely speechless, and even though I knew she was acting, it felt so real, and it's so heartbreaking. I think I've maybe been able to rewatch those episodes, like, 3 times, if that, because it's so raw and emotional, and that was the first time I truly fell in love with acting, I feel like. I think in the beginning when I was younger, it was kind of just a dream, but when I watched these episodes in that season with Mariska Hargitay's acting and everything, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I wanna portray a character like that. I want to move people in the way that she moved me," you know? And then with the first show that made me want to be in the industry is definitely The Fosters. I started watching The Fosters when I was, like, 12, and it was the first time I was truly in a fandom, I think, film and TV-wise. I was, of course, in fandoms for music and everything, but first time film and TV, I had Twitter, and we would live tweet, interact. I would interact with the creators, the directors, the writers, the actors, and it was the first time I was truly able to see other things besides the acting aspect of it, and I realized how many jobs there were behind the scenes and how many people it actually takes to create these amazing shows, and I was like, "Wow, I wanna do that one day. I wanna tell these stories one day." And The Fosters has made such an impact on my life that I just knew it was something I wanted to do from watching that and just being a part of the whole fandom and everything.
Was The Fosters the first show you watched where you actually made it a point to tune in live every night
Yes.
and like live tweet and stuff like that?
Yes, it was, and everyone knew too. Everyone knew. I think it was Tuesday nights. No, whatever. Okay, it came on the same night as Pretty Little
So
Liars.
Tuesday.
Yeah, okay. So every Tuesday night, everyone knew I get the TV. That's my time for an hour. That's my time. Everyone knew not to bother me, and everyone knew I was a huge fan. Guys, they still follow me on Instagram to this day.
That's a flex.
No, literally, and it's not like they post on it anymore, but, like,
But
they still
still,
follow me.
I remember the first show I ever watched live. It was on Teen Nick, and it was called House of Anubis.
Oh.
I was obsessed with that show. I, like, had a fan account for it before I even realized what a fan account was, and I would go to my friend's house I think it was Thursday? Either she would come to my house or I would go to her house, and we would watch it live every night, and I was, like, convinced that I was the most educated person on Egyptian mythology, and I was so fascinated by Egyptian mythology. Like, that show was honestly so good, I felt like it was beyond what was usually on Teen Nick.
Is there anything that you're working on right now that you're really excited about and can share?
Well, I just finished writing a short that is about kind of the idea of mental health, and you never truly know what anyone's going through in the sense of like it can be people who you see every day that act completely normal, and then at night or when they're alone with their thoughts, it's a completely different person sort of thing. I also finished a TV pilot over summer, which I has just been collecting dust. It's a semi procedural, but more of a I don't know. You've read it. I don't really know how I would describe it. It's not really procedural, but it's kind of a crime thriller,
Mhm.
I guess you could say. And then I co-wrote, and directed a short back in September called Paper Walls that is about an immigrant living in America and kind of the idea of the increased presence of ICE and the stress and fear immigrants are feeling in a place that they call home. And they never know when that home is going to be stripped from them, just to, play on how ICE is fucking awful. But yeah, that's essentially what I've been working on Right now, I know you talked about your short that you're writing, but do you want to share what else is going on?
I was recently cast as a lead in a short film. We start filming in about 3 weeks. I'm really excited. It's supposed to be like a really big thing. Like, we're going to submit to festivals and all this stuff. It's about kind of not letting time slip away, not getting overly attached to something to where you can't live your life anymore because we only have so much time. But yeah, I'm really excited about it and I'm kind of nervous, but I don't
How
know.
long is filming?
4 days?
Okay, that's not bad. Do you know how long it's supposed to be or when it's supposed to come out?
I don't. We will have a premiere, but like I said, it's gonna be submitted to festivals, so we can't really, like, put it on
Screen it
blast.
or post
Yeah,
it? Yeah, I get that.
exactly.
Well, let me know
Yeah,
about the premiere.
I
I'll try to
definitely
make it,
will.
depending on the government shutdown flight situation.
And then hopefully, like I think we're gonna have a trailer, so if anything, I'll be able to at least share the trailer.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm just here right now. I'm just the actress.
And you know what? You're killing it.
Thank you, thank you. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now, and hopefully
Exciting.
hopefully we'll be doing way more between the end of the year and beginning of the year, new
We
year.
do have some exciting things coming up that are kind of in the talks that we can't share right now, but
Yeah.
stay tuned.
We just wanna say thank you guys so much for tuning in and supporting us. We've actually grown way faster than we thought we would, so we really appreciate it, and we're really excited to what we have in store for the future.
If there are ever any episodes or guests that you guys want to see, please feel free to share and we can try to make it happen for you. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Be sure to follow us on our socials to keep up with all our episodes and behind the scenes. We'll see you guys next week.